Do nootropics really work? Do smart drugs work? Does modafinil work? Do the racetams work? What's the point of even taking them? I came across this quote by a PhD director of research and education at the University of Maryland, and he says most people seeking to optimize cognitive function would be better off focusing on getting enough sleep, eating a nutrient-dense diet, and managing their stress. And sure, that's all well and good. I'll talk about my experience. The primary issue when it comes to nootropics is that people take them and really expect them to be like life changing. People expect them to really just change your levels of intelligence, change your levels of ambition, and even just change your personality. And once you start introducing nootropics into your life, you'll notice that you kind of hit this valley of despair where you notice that they are not as strong as you would hope them to be, but they can certainly make like adjustments which could be very, 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 very beneficial for you. In terms of like identifying when something is placebo and when something's not, what's worked for me is not really looking too much into the research prior to taking something. As an example, if I keep on hearing like a nootropic being recommended, for instance, I think it was maybe 2013 when Noopept was very, very hot. Everybody was talking about Noopept. It was rated as one of the best nootropics out there. And prior to doing a lot of research on it, okay, what are the uses? What are the benefits? What should I expect? What are the side effects? I went and tried it myself, and I noticed that it was a very, very strong substance. That being said, the good time to really look at the research is when you've tried it for at least a few weeks, is then you can go back and reflect, okay, is it true that I'm getting the benefits that I should expect? A lot of people don't realize, but unfortunately, nootropics, when it comes to the studies and the information that is gathered, the majority of the research is done on senior people, right? So these are most likely people in their 60s, a lot of people who have Alzheimer's or some sort of signs of dementia. These are the people which there's evidence showing that nootropic use is actually going to benefit them. For example, like Piracetam, which is a nootropic that's been around for so long, most of the studies done on them on this nootropic showing that it worked were done in people either elder or even like people with strokes or some sort of disorder. If you're somebody like me in my 20s or my 30s, right, this is where it can be a bit tricky because a lot of these nootropics aren't necessarily shown to increase our abilities. Therefore, if I were you and I really want to get to the bottom of something, give it at least a few weeks, cycle off of it and cycle on it. It's been such that I really, really do recommend that you try nootropics at the same time just because you'll save so much more time. Yes, theoretically, it's good if you were just to like introduce one nootropic into your stack for a few weeks, but that would just take so much damn time to try everything. Let's say there's 20 nootropics that you have in your mind that you want to try, right? You take like 3 weeks for each one. That's going to take 60 weeks, right? Rather than just trust the research. And fortunately, a lot of them do happen to have like a synergistic effect. For example, if you take like Piracetam with Aniracetam or Piracetam with alpha GPC, they work better with each other. But it's just going to have to be those trials of taking things in and out of your stack, and eventually you will get it. There are, for example, nootropics that other people get a lot of benefit from. For me, I feel nothing. Like for example, N-acetylcysteine. Taking taurine, L-theanine doesn't do too much for me. Ginkgo biloba, even ZMA. But you'll have to go through a few cycles. There's been some nootropics you can say that I kind of gave up on, and then I noticed I introduced them back into my stack, and they actually work. For example, ashwagandha. I didn't think it was doing anything, and then I just switched up the brand. I bought the KSM 66, and I really like that. Fortunately, there are nootropics that are going to have an immediate effect. For me, I'm very sensitive to some of the adaptogens, like, for example, Bacopa, taking rhodiola, or even L-tyrosine. I immediately notice just like a slight increase in alertness. So if you're somebody that is considering taking nootropics, definitely give them a shot. Don't judge them so quickly. When you're taking modafinil, and I feel like this needs to be addressed because there's such a big crowd of users of modafinil, and more people are taking it every single day. That's a nootropic where you're going to notice results, I mean, instantly. Like the same day, if you don't feel it and you raise your dose, there's no point of continuous of taking more of it. For instance, like people very often, they start off with like 100 milligrams of modafinil, then they increase it to 150, then 200, then 250, then 300, and they think maybe it's going to accumulate in their body and work better. No, if there's somebody taking that high of a dose, I would really just question, is this the right nootropic for you? Because increasing your dose that high, like, obviously can't be healthy. Never forget the fact that, like, generally speaking, the stronger something is, the worse that its side effects would be. So I hope that was helpful, guys. Are nootropics really working? They're working for me. I hope they're working for you. Don't forget to click subscribe if you'd like to see more, and I'll look forward to seeing you all next time.